This picture was painted 1492 by a homosexual named Michelangelo and his drag queen girlfriend, Leonardo da Vinci. So when you read Revelations 1:14 on down, you find out Christ was black. So all of these fake white Renaissance images can go to hell where they belong. Now, getting back to the reality of what we're dealing with about the UFOs, let's continue reading about these UFOs. Read it again.
For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots.
For behold, the Lord, Christ, will come with fire and with his chariots. Now what kind of chariots for you so-called Negro preachers that jump up and down and eat ham hocks 7 days a week? What kind of chariot is Christ coming back in? Is it a Cadillac like the one you ride to church in on Sunday? Is it a Hertz rent-a-car? Is it a horse and buggy? Or is somebody going to let a rope down out the sky and say, come on down, Jesus, come on down? No, it's not going to happen that way. The chariot that Christ is coming back in is a so-called UFO, the unidentified flying object. That's what Christ is talking about coming back in. That's what Michael the Archangel and the other henchmen that he is going to bring with him to destroy this country are coming in. Read.
Like a whirlwind.
Like a whirlwind. Every time you read a report about a so-called UFO, you hear about, you see this saucer that's spinning around. It spins around like a whirlwind, like a tornado. Read.
To render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire.
Christ is not coming back to play a piano and sing I Love New York. He's coming back to render his anger with fire and his rebuke against all the wicked people on the planet Earth. Christ has enemies, you so-called Negro preachers. You still on this Sunday morning drug love trip of teaching love, 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 love. Christ is not coming back to bring love. He's coming back to do what? Read that last part again.
To render his anger.
Stop. To render his anger, not his love. To render his anger. Sunday morning Sunday school teacher, Mr. Preacher, Mr. Negro that's in the church. To render his anger, not love. Read.
With fury.
With fury. He's going to be real mad. He's upset. He got an attitude about something. Read.
And his rebuke with flames of fire.
With flames of fire. Now what do you think he's going to do with that fire? Have a cookout? Put a few hamburgers on the grill? He's going to cook some human beings. Because he's going to burn them to a cinder. Continue.
For by fire and by his sword.
Now, this ain't my interpretation, or your interpretation, or his interpretation, or her interpretation. It's plain. We're reading in the Bible. It's in plain English. For by fire and by what?
His sword.
And by his sword, you know what people do with swords. They kill people with swords. They don't plant corn with swords. They don't play cards with swords. They don't play ring around the rosy with a sword. They chase somebody with a sword and chop their head off. David chopped a lot of heads off with it. Read.
Will the Lord plead with all flesh?
Will the Lord plead with all flesh? Read.
And the slain of the Lord shall be many.
I can't make it no simpler than that. I mean, if you go to Sunday school and somebody was to read that in Sunday school, I think anybody with a mind can understand that. I can't make it any plainer than that. It can't go any lower than that. The slain of the Lord, that means the dead, shall be many. Now give me Isaiah 31:4. You so-called Negroes need to get a grasp of what's going on. I'm going to show a book while he's getting Isaiah 34. The name of this book is called War in Space. I bet there ain't a preacher in America that got this. Especially no black preacher. You too busy wondering who cooking chitlins on Sunday. War in space. There's going to be a war in space. You know what that war is going to be with? The earth against Jesus Christ. Guess who's going to win? Here's another book called Space Warfare and Strategic Defense. The so-called Star Wars program. And in these books they reveal the weaponry that the devil, the so-called white man, the son of Satan, is employing in space to fight against Christ and the angels, which he refers to in military bases as alien forces. The only alien on this earth is the devil, the so-called white man. Christ is not alien to his people. When you so-called Negroes wake up and realize you're the children of Israel, you're the ones that Christ died for, and you're the ones that he's going to redeem and save, and he's coming back with the mighty angels to bring vengeance upon all those that hate him and that kept not his law, then you will realize that you have power with the Lord. Space warfare, because there's going to be a war in space. The devil, the so-called white man, and the other nations are going to try to defeat Christ, and they're going to lose. Let's read.
For thus have the Lord spoken unto me, like as the lion and the young lion roaring on his prey.
Now the Lord is speaking in Isaiah like how he's going to deal with the people on this earth. Like a lion and a young lion roaring on his prey. That doesn't sound like peace, does it? A young lion roaring on his prey ain't going to be coming kissing another animal. He's going to rip that animal's head off. That's what Christ is going to do. Rip the nations and cut them asunder. Read.
When a multitude of shepherds is called forth against him.
Now that multitude of shepherds that's going to be called forth against him are the armies of the world, with the devil, the white man, leading them. Read.
He will not be afraid of their voice.
Christ is not going to be afraid of them. He's not going to be afraid of the battleship Big Mo that's sitting out in Atlantic, or the battleship New Jersey, or the F-111, or the stealth bomber, or the space shuttle, or none of that other garbage you got in outer space talking about an early warning satellite system. We're going to see how much warning you're going to get the day when the angels come. Read.
Nor abase himself.
Nor abase himself. He's not going to abase himself. He don't give a damn if you got nuclear missiles and you're going to fire them at him. He is not going to abase himself. Right. And the antimatter gun that you got, that's another thing. In this book that speaks about that so-called antimatter gun that you got, the particle beam weapon. I want to show that. In this book called War in Space, the devil, the so-called white man, has set up a defense system in space against the angels. He's so stupid. Here's a defense system that he set up. It's called a particle beam system. You see that? And now if I can point to where it says particle beam right there. Particle beam weapons. Those are weapons that he used, well, certain energy forces he's using that he thinks that he has figured out the physiological makeup or the spiritual physiological makeup of the angels. And they think that with this particle beam gun, they can shoot it at Christ, shoot it at the angels, and all of a sudden the angels are going to get weak and knock the flying saucers out the air and all that, and then America's going to raise its flag again and work. But that's a damn lie. And I want to clear, but here's the gun right here. They're testing it. See right there? That's the so-called particle beam weapon that they got. And the space shuttle got this mess on it. Now they're shooting through, over here they show on this page, that they're shooting through a block of lead. What the hell is shooting through a block of lead going to do against an angel? Now they only went about 3 or 4 inches into this lead. So I'm asking, what in the hell makes them think that because they can shoot through a block of lead with a particle beam gun, that that's supposed to go through a flying saucer? One time one of the saucers dropped something on the earth, and the Air Force picked it up. They said they couldn't drill through it, they couldn't burn it, they couldn't scratch it, they couldn't blow it up, they couldn't smash it, they couldn't do a damn thing with it. So how in the hell does a particle beam weapon they can shoot through the lead, gonna go through a saucer or go through an angel?
Could I say that here? What can they do with a spirit in the fourth dimension when they're in the third dimension?
Right.
Well, their weapons is in the third dimension.
Right. They don't even understand the dimensions that they're dealing with. That goes to show you you're poor in mathematics again. You so-called hammerhead, stupid, damn, ignorant so-called white mad scientists do not know what you're dealing with. You do not know the level of what you're dealing with. Here you are trying to deal with something that you're not on the level to deal with. You're trying to deal with a dimension that you're not capable of grasping when you're in this little dimension that you're in. You can't go into the other dimension, dummy. Read.
He will not be afraid of their voice.
Christ is not going to be afraid of all that mess you got up there in outer space, particle beam weapon, this space mine, space gun, SALT 2 vertical trap, and all that other mess. Like they got this map here, showing the SALT 2 vertical trap. Get a close-up of that. Yeah, you old Sunday morning Negro preachers, you better get a good load of this. You better learn this real soon. Because if you don't learn this thing, your congregation going to kill you right in the church. And that's according to the word of the Most High. Look at this mess they got up there. Space gun, space grenade, beam weapon, early warning satellite, space mines, and all that mess. Now in the middle they got the flying saucers. That's how Christ is coming, just like birds fly. As he read on, you're going to see that. I'm going to show the picture while he's reading it. Read.
Nor abase himself.
Look at that. The U.S. on this side and the USSR on the other side, using laser weapons, MiG jets, F-111s, all this mess. They're going to be shooting up there in the sky in vain. Read.
Nor abase himself for the noise of them.
Nor for the noise of them. All that noise they're going to be making up there is not going to change a thing. Christ is still coming. He's going to get through your early warning system. He's going to get through your space mine. He's going to get through your particle beam weapon. He's going to get through every damn thing you got and deliver Israel. Read.
So shall the Lord of hosts come down to fight.
So shall the Lord of hosts come down to fight. To fight who? The devil, the so-called white man, and the other nations with this madness that they got out there in space. You so-called Negroes better learn this soon. Stop looking at Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in Disney World and worried about how a nigga can score points on a basketball court, and get some knowledge in your head. Learn some history. These are facts that we're bringing out. These are things that the devil, the white man, ain't going to tell you.
This year, the winter storms have left us overstocked and up to our